We are going live here momentarily, and we're on the air. Welcome back to another week here, folks. This week in Search, where we sit around and just talk about whatever comes across our mind over the last 7 days. Terry, I don't know, man. I was going here right away, right off the hop, for a couple of reasons. One, it was Screaming Frog. This was you, wasn't it? Or I think you shared this one. Not sure. So, a few reasons I thought were interesting. When's the last time I heard someone talk about log files? It's been a while.
Yeah.
Once upon a time, that's all we had, man.
For sure. I think there's reason to look at them now, too. Oh, no. There's things that I don't think you always pick up in analytics as far as bots and stuff, so I think there's some gold there.
Yeah, I totally think so. Go ahead, Eamon.
It's something I actually said to John Mueller in a hangout not long back. I said, you know, analytics is a powerful platform, but by the time you finish tweaking to get anything useful out of it, and don't get me wrong, it's very powerful. There's a lot you can do to analytics to get things like, you know, scroll distances and what part of a page they're on. But all of those are extra code. By the time you finish doing all the things to put that into analytics, you could have put it into any other program instead. So this is why I'm not a huge fan of analytics. Yeah, the company's already got it there, so getting them to tweak it is usually easier than getting them to install something else. But chances are they've probably got something like log file analysis going on anyway. And I've always been a huge fan of having the logs written to a database so that you can SQL query them.
Yeah. You know, and this, again, before the days of any kind of useful analytics, this is how we used to do stuff, you know? It's like...
Also, Google Analytics puts stuff into direct traffic that isn't direct traffic. For instance, when Yahoo and Bing started hiding the referring phrase, Google put that into direct traffic.
Well, and they certainly don't show you the bot traffic or anything else, you know what I mean, which is something that's still nice to know, especially the larger sites that are trafficked and you're tracing down problems or issues. You know, it's really, there are ways you can sort of hack Google Analytics a bit to get, you know, bot traffic, but it's not that, you know, it's not default and it's certainly not that easy. Again, I'm with them, and I'd rather be, you know, taking my own log files and either querying them or using something like this to look at them as opposed to trusting Google Analytics, because I just don't trust Google Analytics, so, you know.
Also, Google Analytics, once you get to a certain number, starts sampling. And I'm speaking to someone from Google privately, and they basically said no one really knows how.
Well, how many times have you and I seen stuff like based on, you know, whatever 20% of traffic or something like that when the site's got millions of hits per month? It's like, yeah,
right. Also, one of the things I hate about Google Analytics is it does not really, when you're looking at the funnels, right, it really doesn't show you what page they entered on a lot of times. They only show you the last 2 or 3 clicks or something. I've always found trying to follow a user through the site is not easy in Google Analytics. And for me, that's an important part of what I like to look at.
But it used to be better, for sure. You know, the last time I really tried to track a particular user through, it was like you say, it was you're chasing your tail. Good luck. But I remember a few years ago that it was better information. They seem to have cut that back.
It's the old thing of dumbing stuff down, isn't it? They've tried to make it have more stuff for people that don't know what they're doing, and that means that it hides the stuff from people who do. It's a bit like, you know, when GUIs first came in, everyone that was used to command line interfaces found GUIs really difficult and found a lot of things hidden. And let's face it, even today, if you're a power user of a computer, you often cut into a command line interface for certain parts anyway. Even on Windows, you know, I will switch to the command line quite a lot. Several times a week there's something that I want to do that I'm going to use the command line.
Yeah, Terry, I think we have to get a hold of Dan and get an evaluation copy of this.
Yeah. Or have him on the show. We haven't had him on in a while, so
Yeah,
probably.
yeah, true. He's probably pounding the pavements right now. So there you go. We'll have to get Dan on and get a good run through this thing.
And I think there's
And I guess Barry.
an update to the spider as well. Since the last time we spoke to Dan.
Screaming Frog, yeah, I think so. I think the last time was maybe last fall or something. We had him on.
It have to be a year because it's been a year since we did any interviews. So
I'm totally blaming you. Okay, all right. Yeah, we'll go with that. All right. In other news. Oh, and did you see the badges I made, Ammon?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Those will be distributing those to everyone later. I'm not a rank brain expert. Wear them proudly, folks. Yeah. And no more, no trolling. All right. What else do we got next? Oh, Bill's not here, so I'm gonna leave that just in case he shows up. Hold on.
Cookies.
Bill's not here.
I have cookies.
What is Bill doing? How are your burnt cookies, man?
Not burnt.
I think they're supposed to be brown, Dave.
They're gingerbread, dude.
Okay.
Gingerbread with chocolate.
Yeah, we saw the tray. We know you've
White
picked the
chocolate
ones on the edge that didn't burn, but we saw the brown on the ones that did.
That's good, man.
So our good buddy Jennifer was posting this earlier today.
Oh,
Google likely to announce real. Hey, to her credit, at least, Ammon, she did put it here at the bottom. She did put her little exchange with John Mueller, where he said plans is kind of exaggerated.
yeah, it's one of those things. I would never run a story that Google plans to announce, or that there is going to be an announcement. Look, wait till the bloody announcement comes. You can't be that desperate for the 10 clicks before it happens. If they change their mind, you look like an idiot.
Yeah, but they're going to announce that at some point, Ammon, so it's not like they're going out on a long limb or anything.
You didn't say when, did you? You just said they plan to, which means they will eventually. You just got to wait. If it's another year, whatever.
Right.
Yeah, but look at what Steve was saying last week when he told clients stuff that took 5 years to happen. It's too late. They've forgotten they've been told, and also you've made them think that something's urgent, and they go and devote budget to it, and then it doesn't happen. And in corporate world, sometimes when a story leaks before it happens, they put off the launch. So
Right.
you might have actually delayed them on making the announcement.
Crap, it doesn't matter. You start burning the client's budget on these articles someone puts out. There's going to be a penguin thing, and so now the client, someone on their staff read it, shot it to their boss, and now the client wants to know about when the new penguin update and what they need to do on their website to make sure that their SEO isn't impacted.
Yeah.
And so that's a budgetable item. Instead of actually doing this, now you're writing the POV about a algo change.
But I mean, really, why do people need announcements? They should already have protected themselves. If you're looking for an announcement, you're an idiot.
Yeah, because it's just a data push, and so it's already too late. By the time Google announces it, it's a little late.
Bent over, and they're giving it to you.
Yeah, and the way things have been going, I'll see you in a year and a half.
Who's to say that these phantom updates aren't partially penguin? Because you can see that there's something going on with links at the same time.
Well, it depends. Are you a Google Penguin expert?
I'll say how many we cleaned up. I don't claim to be an expert, but I've cleaned up many and got them all fixed.
So we don't have a clue when it's going to be showing up.
I mean, you're a penguin guru now.
I know a little bit about it after cleaning up as many as we have. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Well, see, that would make us.
I'm a curmudgeon.
That would make us. That would make you a penguin cleanup expert.
Yes.
Not a Google Penguin expert.
Well, I've been doing
you
that
go.
for years.
Cleanup expert, right on.
I've been telling people to clean up links long before Penguin. Long before.
Penguin names for poop.
Well, there weren't even names for it. It was called being sensible.
No, what do they call penguin poop?
Oh,
You know where I'm going with this now,
Scat?
don't you?
Maybe? I don't know. What did you find?
Never come up before.
Usually
Come
with
on,
birds,
man.
it's guano.
Imagine what this is going to do to his personalization. Wow.
Oh, April 25th, World Penguin Day. Wait a minute, hang on. April 25th is World Penguin Day. We'll put something out there on SEO today and make all the SEOs think it's about the algorithm.
Well, no problem. I'm pretty sure I could write something crap and get it pushed through on search engine watch.
April 25th is World Penguin Day. You want to start? Okay, let's start a rumor. Let's see what happens.
Wait, we'll come up with a good post or something. Come on, man. We got to make it sound really good. We got to figure out how many days it's been, too, since, see if there's anything numerically we can do with how many days it's been since the last one. Come on. Should be able to mess with this thing. Anyways, just because every week now I have to talk about something related to this. Again, this is back to that whole Google as an assistant thing that they were talking about SMX, some other things that we've looked at. So this one is apparently with your Google Calendar, you can say, I want to exercise more, I want to read books more, or whatever. And it'll try to predictively, again, a fancy word we all love lately, it's predictably going to start blocking out times in your Google Calendar and suggesting, say, hey, let's go read a book, or let's go exercise, or whatever. It's going to try and be your assistant in the sense of blocking out different times and spaces for you. So it wasn't a huge story, but it kind of went along with something we've been talking about lately, so I thought that was interesting. Yeah, Google Calendar will automatically block out time for you to fulfill the objective. And funny enough, Terry, as soon as I saw that story, I kind of thought of Matt and his 30-day challenges. I was like, there you go. Is somebody pushing for that?
yeah, but
Anyway,
you can see where you can see where that assistant is becoming part of their what do you call it? It's a goal for them because the calendar was updated with that, and it looks like that's like using AI and stuff like that with the calendar. Interesting.
Yeah, exactly. Google now showed them that the market is interested. Now they're developing Gen 2, Gen 3, and yeah, it's going a lot further.
Well,
Once a year, penguins have a catastrophic molt.
Catastrophic molt?
Yeah, once a year, penguins experience a catastrophic molt. So let's use puns when talking about the next panda algo algorithm about a catastrophic molt.
Oh, this is going to get weird, I can tell now. Okay.
Or how about
I
A,
can see where this is going.
sexually suggested and use the erect crested penguin? No, it's the Eudipetes scloteri is the genus and species.
If you're going to use an erect, if you're using any kind of erect penguin, can I do a follow-up up article that links is hard?
There you go. What the fuck? Oops, I said that.
Oh boy.
Yeah, playing with your erect penguin does not sound good.
No, an erect crested penguin. So we get some guy who's just, I'm trying to find the name for a penguin poop, so then we can think of the actual Latin title for somebody to be a penguin expert and create a name for them. They would talk about the catastrophic molt in search. Starting to follow where I'm going with this now? Yeah, and when Google hits it, it's erect crest. I'm just going to confuse a lot of people and see how many people would believe that a penguin expert actually has those qualities in Google, and then someone starts doing an SEO blog on Moz that talks about the erect crest of the Google search in penguin.
Ammon over in the side chat, he put guano guru.
Right.
The GG, my homie. Okay. Frank, you kind of ran through this one earlier, did you? No, Frank's not with us. I see how it is. Post stories and run. Anyways, yeah, we didn't actually get into this last week because it didn't really come out till Monday. But we did kind of, I think it was on Ammon's show. We were talking some about this, weren't we? I don't know.
I'm here.
Oh, there you are. Thank you, Frank.
I had that muted, and I was looking. It's interesting if you do a search for Japan earthquake now. They've got a whole different sort of news thing on the front of the search results over at Google.
Which one? Where?
If you just do Japan earthquake, there's like a whole information thing. They're not even put, all the search stuff is down below the fold.
So I'm gonna assume there was an earthquake that I missed because I'm just too busy looking at search crap all day.
No, it's a mobile alert, dude. They're public alerts.
But yeah, if you go to Google and do the search Japan earthquake,
Right here, public alerts.
boom, major.
This is badass. Finally, well, it's all mobile cards too.
There you go.
This is useful. Thanks. If you'd like to describe why this concept useful, tell us. Because this looks useful in an emergency on a mobile device. Thank you. Please send me more of these types.
Really? You still have to talk while you type?
What?
You still have to talk when you type?
It's either that or look at the keyboard, one of the two.
There is a tsunami alert there too.
Tsunami?
All right, so here's...
Yeah, 7.0 earthquake. That's gonna leave a mark.
Yeah.
Earthquake. And then tsunami.
Would that affect Australia?
Quite possibly. Thank God I'm in New York.
That's one way to look at it.
Yeah, I better warn my brother.
It's not very often I think of somebody saying, "Thank God I'm in New York."
True.
Yeah. Oh, the zingers are running today. My God, people. All right, well, it's okay. That's an interesting result. I guess we'll just keep going on. All right, so Frank, Ray's post. What do we got? I'm giving that one to you because I'm lazy as always.
Yeah,
Holy
I mean,
that's the second one, Frank. There was one, a 6.2 magnitude 17 hours ago.
oh wow.
So there's a 6.2 and 7 was the
that
active
article
one.
is decent enough. It goes through the process. There's nothing earth-shattering. It just seems interesting that we're starting to get those sort of things in response.
Well, technically it is earth-shattering, otherwise it wouldn't be an earthquake.
No, I think he's talking about that article. Jesus.
Oh,
Yeah, exactly.
That, like,
The manual penalty stuff.
Anyways, yeah, the background of the story, folks, is essentially a bunch of penalties went out last weekend. No one was really sure what they were. Then by Monday, the people were reporting that they were due to those taking freebies for, essentially links or reviews or whatever you want to call it. That's up to the person doing them. But again, I think, Ammon, we talked a few times in a few different places this week that, this went over the bow 3-4 weeks ago, maybe longer, when Google was talking about all, put posts up on their blog that, don't be doing this. So it kind of goes back to what I was saying earlier, that, if you didn't see this coming, like, come on.
Yeah, but I mean, this is almost like, it's like you're grabbing the Johns as opposed to grabbing the hookers.
Well, yeah, which means, I guess, to them that it wasn't working the other way in their eyes,
Yeah, exactly.
Well,
Yeah,
again,
if they know that these people are getting some sort of compensation for the inbound link, for their outbound link, then the person that's getting all of them obviously gets impacted when they get cut off. But shouldn't they be penalized more?
I don't know. I think actually, if you remember when the very first bad neighbourhoods came along, a lot of us said, well, hang on, look, if it's this site that's doing it, blame that site, because otherwise you're opening the door to negative SEO. And I think, this is the right approach this time. Just stop it working.
Because I'm pretty sure most bloggers that are, doing that kind of stuff, making any kind of half decent money, understand the value of Google's guidelines to them. They're not, blind to it, and if they are, they deserve it. I remember all the penguin days on natural links, penalties, all that kind of stuff, and talking to various Googlers about, you're killing these poor small business owners because they hired some guy they had no idea about. And Terry would often make the argument that, it's like a lawyer or anything else. If you don't vet the provider, you are somewhat to blame. But, in this case, it's not quite like you're killing some small business owner for a crappy SEO. Most of the bloggers that are doing this kind of stuff, that's how they're making their money, and I'm sure they have a pretty good idea what the rules are with Google. So I don't think that this is, so far out there that they're...
If there is anyone out there... Go on, Frank.
Into it that deeply, but are these penalties site-wide, or are they just for those particular pages? Because if there is for the particular pages, who gives a crap, because they've already been paid for what they've done?
I don't know the specific, but I would guess, yeah, like Ammon's saying, the site is probably a threshold kind of thing. If they think you're doing it site-wide, it might, again, you're probably affecting trust scores more than anything.
Yeah.
That's where your hit's going to be, but like any manual penalty, you got to at least go through the process now and say, okay, I'm so sorry, I won't do it again, and I've done all these, I've taken these steps. But if you only penalize the page, Frank, again, this isn't a site owner who got bad SEO service. This is a blogger that was trying to skirt around the rules. So if you only whack a couple of pages, he's not going to care. I don't think the message would get across. So I'm going to assume a lot of these are probably site-wide.
Yeah,
but I don't know any.
It depends on what it is. I mean, some of these links are where they've got a link injection. Well, look, Google's been warning about these for 2 years. If you're still using things that are known to have link injections in them, you're using a plugin that automatically links to this site, that site. Yeah, your blog's going to stop getting its link if they're not no-followed.
I've had it happen on one of my properties that I wasn't. I would have happened on one of my older properties I wasn't paying attention to. Came back and there was fucking crap everywhere. I was like, oh no. So yeah, for sure. And Google even sends you little notices now that there's a new version of WordPress out. They're giving you subtle hints out there.
Yeah, and I would say that if everyone gets the same emails that I think all of us get, people are offering to write a guest post. Full well that all they want to do is put a link to their client in that. If you're a blogger and you get one of those, do not say yes under any circumstances.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting though, because my daughter actually does social media for Campbell's over here in the US, and they do a huge outreach to the mommy bloggers, but they don't care about the links. I'm
no, but
like,
that bites you in the ass. No, that could bite you in the ass. Had a guy, dojo member, big company. They've been on Oprah, all kinds of stuff, great PR, everything else. One of the products they were pushing that was brownies, and so they grabbed some list of some fucking tool or whatever, and pushed out all these brownies. And I was privy to the email, because they called me after the fact, and I was privy to the emails they sent out. Nothing asked for a link anywhere. But bloggers, being what they are, started linking great brownies, super brownies, this and that back to the company homepage. So again, they weren't vetting the bloggers, and they weren't ensuring this. If you're gonna link, please do it in this manner, like a brand name or something else. Everyone remembers Widgetgate and that kind of stuff. Anyway, so they got spanked and everything. So I went to Matt, and Matt and I were talking over emails, and I was like, dude, okay, here's I promise you, no one was trying to fuck around with this and that. And he just basically said, dude, well, first, for starters, he asked about the domain, and I made sure I cleared it to the client. I gave him the domain, and he goes, "Oh, these guys, yeah, Jim Boykin brought him to me in 2007." I was like, "Oh, this is gonna end well." Anyways, that's how my conversation with Matt started. Anyway, so at the end of the day, he was saying basically, Dave, you know what I mean? You got to vet the other side, meaning that if one post is about duct tape, the next one's about jewelry. Is that somewhere you want to be? You know, the neighborhood mattered as well. Because again, Frank, just like you're talking about, they weren't asking for links, but bloggers being what they are, got a free product, went
Sure,
linked,
but they do it very conscious.
used keyword-rich anchors and everything else, and they got spanked for it because they didn't control the process. You know.
Yeah, no, Campbell's does a really good. You know, they pick out specific influences. They don't shotgun it to everyone. They look at particular people, and they're the whole need to do the no follow, but they look for it purely for the social share and for the actual traffic volume it gets them to recipe pages that they've got on their various products. It's clever, and I mean it's something that we see it as a link, but realistically we also should see it purely as a traffic play, and screw this. Just
well,
no
which is the way it
follow.
that's the way it always should be, and always, Ammon, Terry's not here, but, Steve, Ammon, you guys know that back once before, time before there was Google, getting a link was about the traffic a site would send. It wasn't about page rank or anything else. So it's that kind of thought pattern we still continue to have, isn't it, really?
Yeah, no, that's exactly why no follows are still valuable. By all means, send them a copy that's got no follow. Ask for a no follow. There's still good reasons to have a no followed link.
Well, sure. You're building your brand, your entity, and if you've picked the right outlets with your PR team to be on, from newspapers to bloggers, if you've picked the right spots, you're building authority and you're building other signals that a search engine's going to use. You don't need the page ranks per se. I mean, hell, keep it. No follow it. Do whatever you want.
But there's still good uses of guest blogging. If you write an article well, then it will have a followed link. It will make sense and it will fit in the context. The problem is when people are trying to put things that are way out of context there, or the kind of people that are begging for links. The kind of people that are begging for links are the kind of people that can't earn links, and they can't earn links because they're rubbish.
Yeah. True. And the sad part about it is, I read a lot of different things, and I've got that little, the no follow extension in Chrome. It's amazing how many people have still got the follow links in. They're dropping text links in the copy, and it's the same text, or they add a modifier in front of it. It's like, really, guys? You don't even know this? You've got enough knowledge to go out there and spam these text links, but you haven't read that other article that tells you one off is the only one that's passing any influence, and two, if you create a huge number of the same keyword, you're going to get yourself in trouble.
Frank, are you expecting some of these companies to have read more than one article?
Yeah, no, I know. I'm sorry.
They're still working their way through 1997.
They ask for SEO, do you know any good articles on this? And he sends them that crap when he put on his own blog.
Yeah.
I've never actually used a no-follow, I can't say if it existed prior to me getting over there and they had it in place, I may have allowed myself to work within their constraints, but I've never suggested anyone put one on a website at all.
I've used one for the same reason that I've used no index in places. It wasn't an important page. It didn't need to have its
Oh no, I
content
use
indexed.
robots better for no index, no follow all the time. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying a no follow tag.
Well, that's it. Why have links to that page? If it's then going to be no index, you may as well no index the links to it.
Right, and sometimes after somebody's already let it loose and sent it to a Gmail account, you have to do no index to get the operator going. Then remove it from the sitemap, then put a robots text file exclusion for the directory of the pages and all that kind of shit.
Yeah.
I miss the days. I miss the days when we no follow your contact us link, etc. on each page because we were page rank sculpting. Now they expect all to be.
I didn't know you worked for Bruce Clay. Cool. You never told me that. Did you do silos too, or?
There are still sites out there that have to have certain disclaimers or certain policies clearly marked on each page. that nobody is interested in searching for, and those are the kind of things that are well worth putting a no follow on that link and a no index on that page.
No, but what I'm saying is, to a degree, Google still sees that stuff as like PageRank stuff. Unless they've changed everything, that was there, and I haven't heard anything where they've said, okay, now that's a smart play.
They're not going to say it's okay, because if they say it's okay, and they mean it's okay because you've got 3 pages you're doing this for on a 10,000 page site, then somebody will go and do it to 8,000 pages on a 10,000 page site, and say, well, Google said it was all right.
Yeah, true.
Yep.
I just want to welcome Arena and Zach to the little gang here. And Zach, I don't know if you've seen this group of mulligans before, but you just got to just run over everyone and jump in there, eh? Like, you know. It was funny at the beginning, Eamon, when Terry was like, I'm not fucking talking over anybody today. And I was like, isn't that kind of how we roll, though? If you're not talking over someone, you're not getting hurt. So. Anyway, Zach, welcome to the family. And it's pretty simple. You just buy me a beer and everyone can be heard, you know.
Okay, and I don't know Arena.
I don't either, and she's being very quiet. So she's lurking over there. There's a text chat up at the top left, Arena, if you feel like just going that direction. Don't worry about it. Well, Bill's not here. Bill's not here. Well, Dave's not here, man. But another thing that was in the news this week started with somebody I was talking to, and I think on a Facebook group. I'm not even sure because we have too many little places going. But apparently, in-depth articles. Oh, that's right. It was Dr. Pete on Facebook. Anyway, so Dr. Pete was noticing this, and he'd done a bunch of testing, and he couldn't find it anywhere. So apparently they're gone. And this is one of those moments, Eamon and Steve and Frank, that I find amusing, is that just because Google removes something, everyone stops thinking about it. You know, Bill passed me this article he wrote back in January about it, and it's got a patent and the usual Bill stuff. But it's still a great read. It's still very interesting. It's on the event page. I think everyone should fucking read it. Because it does still teach you what Google looks in for an article and how it treats an evergreen article differently than, you know, something like what is an in-depth article, what are the, you know, you can learn authority ideas here. And you've got you got article score, commercial score, evergreen score, site pattern score, and author score. And as usual, Bill goes down and goes through them all. And again, fascinating, great stuff.
People got as far as an author score and went, oh, authorship's coming back. No,
that was just Mark Traphagen. That was just Mark. Mark was like, "Oh, I'm back. No, I'm kidding. Love you, Mark."
The thing is, authorship itself hasn't really gone away in the way it was ever used, but they stopped pushing for the tag because there's other ways of determining it, and they found.
Well, who decided that crap and they're wrong? Look at the link window. Go look at that. Tell me that doesn't apply now.
No. Okay, but we're just talking Google's flavor of it, dude. I'm not talking about schema or anything else. Okay, that's fine. And in our conversations in the dojo this week, none of us care about that. We're still going with our schema. We're still trying to solidify entities and relations on and off site and so on and so on. You know, I'm still a fan of all that.
Yeah.
You know, so like you know, I would say maybe there was it didn't reach critical mass as far as adoption goes. Maybe this was some sort of training exercise for their other algorithms that they're able to, you know, they had other things they were testing that they'd run and see the efficacy of and say, well, our algos internally are figuring out entities just as well. Hell with this, we don't need it.
I feel like I need to represent Terry here and be like, oh, don't even go there.
You didn't swear, though. You gotta swear. Come on, woman.
We had this in one of the Google Q&As with Android, where he said, sometimes the only thing that changes is how we label it. You know, at one time, we pick it out. We show it as a separate thing to make everyone aware of what this part is. You know, we'll have a carousel and it's labelled carousel. And then we'll try without the label and see which is more effective. And are we sure that the in-depth articles have gone, or have Google just stopped pointing out this is an in-depth article?
I think that to me again, yeah, because you look at the various levels of graphs that are, obviously it's a universal type result almost in its own way, meaning it's applied separately. You've got author and entity things established in there. And evergreen is actually, interesting enough, one of those terms that's not SEO. It's actually one that you find in patents and stuff like that. So it's like one of the few things that wasn't made up by us.
Yep.
So yeah, I read through that article when Bill passed it to me the other day, and I was like, my brain couldn't stop thinking that this is extremely valuable because they're still looking at things this way, but like you said, they're just not talking about it the same way. But that doesn't mean it's gone from the system. It's still in there. They're not, I don't see how they think about things is why we
The value of the articles, and that is still there and still important. I think what's happened is they didn't most probably get enough clicks to that when they put it under that rubric. And now they've put those silly, little answer question with the click down answer boxes in. They're just testing. It's all for them. It's all about the user experience, as they keep telling us. And maybe enough people went, oh, I don't want to have to read a long article about this. I just want the short answer.
Frank, for all we know, Frank, it was. For all we know, they were, split testing where a news thing might go or something. They could have been losing money on it. Meaning, you know what I mean? That
yeah, real estate.
They might have found that they're by supplanting news listings that people using AdSense or whatever. They might have actually lost money. Who knows?
That won't figure. It really is. I know everyone doubts Google when they say there's a Chinese wall between organic and AdWords, but there really is.
Oh, yeah,
they never adjust organic for AdWords. They will adjust AdWords for wherever organic is.
Yeah. So, again, folks, it's worth reading just for the sense that there's a lot of valuable ideas and how Google thinks about it.
They've got less real estate now that they're not putting ads over on the right-hand side, so let's see how many they start cramming down the bottom.
Yeah, but isn't that just driving more clicks onto the top results, which were the ones they were making the most money on in the first place? Wasn't the provision of extra choice just meaning that some of the people who were going to click ads were clicking the ones that were cheaper?
Yeah. Oh, no.
In some ways, they want less ads.
The pricing for those ads now are going up. They're in the prime spot. They're getting, they get the highest number of clicks, and what people are bidding for them now because they don't have that other option has gone up.
Yeah, but even with that, that's a side effect. The whole point was, if you're showing 10 ads, that's 10 different prices, and you're only making the top dollar on the top ad. Now, if you're only showing 4, surely it's twice as likely they're going to click one of those top 4, which are all worth more than the bottom 6 of the 10 you were showing before.
And to be able to, and to be in the top 4 now, it's you can't be on the side, so you're bidding higher.
Yeah. And of course, because there's less ads, there's probably more traffic that's going to and staying with those, less choice, less other things that looked interesting. Less bounces.
Yeah, which is a good point. I've got some people doing, a couple 100,000 in spend a month, and I haven't really looked at their, I don't manage it, I still do the SEO, but I haven't looked at the data since all that, so it's curious. I might go look at it.
Costs have been going up, but effectiveness of the ads has been going up, is what I'm hearing from several of mine.
Well, yeah, I looked, just at a glance the other day, and, I'm not, again, I don't manage this company's PPC, I just have analytics access. Over the last 30 days, they're only up about 2% in revenue from it. But again, it's hard to say specifics of the situation. I'm not managing it, so I don't have a clue.
Yeah, one of the tools, SpyFu or whatever, should have a track of where the PPC spends are going.
Since we're kind of on old school days here, as usual, I saw our good friend Alan Blayweiss kind of losing it on this one earlier.
Oh, I saw his interview. Did you see that? The Uncle Fester one.
It was. I don't know if you were part of this conversation with Alan, but somebody ranked a picture for some foot to foot, like cat walking on the keyboard phrase, and proclaimed that the title tag is now a thing in images. So.
Yeah, Dawn's been talking.
You
quite
talking
a lot
about an alt tag?
Yeah, title
No,
attributes.
no, no.
No, not
Google,
alts.
we all knew alt
titles.
tags worked. We weren't sure about title tags, and when asked, John Mueller said, "I'm not sure that would work when you're dynamically changing title tags." Well, Dawn went away and did some experimenting, and has posted up a decent in-depth analysis of her findings.
Well, I don't know. End of the day, is that something that's really, I appreciate it and all, but you know what? I'm going to tell my client to go put all these title tags in because someone might someday search some sort of weird query that might put their image on a page. I'm not a fan of that. Oh my God, Frank found a camera. Oh my God.
I've had a camera. It fills the bandwidth. I get stuttering speech. Sitting outside, I might as well let you enjoy the sunlight.
Why, thank you, Frank. We appreciate that. I mean, that goes back to the whole issue of how far do you advise anyone to actually target images or anything like that? I always have a bit of a problem. I've had clients that, in analytics, you actually have to split up your Google searches into images and normal, which a lot of people don't seem to do. I remember one time someone going, look, our Google traffic's up by, whatever X percentage, and I went and looked, and, 60% of that was Google Images. Of the entire search traffic was Google Images, and I'm like, and then you track that trail back, you're not making any money off of that traffic, boys, so don't get excited. It's like,
Well, you do if they click on view the page from the image.
Yeah, but again, you can still track that to a degree in custom reports, and,
what it is in search.
I think if you can train
your bloggers and people creating content, but it's not something I'm going to go back to 100K page site after the fact and say let's go back and put titles on all our images. No, I don't think that's cost effective.
Only the ones that matter for your brand name.
Putting an image in a text, like use of images in articles.
Yeah, again, if I can train an editorial staff on best practices, and I do this a lot, like I've almost got prepared PDFs and stuff when I come into a situation that I can hand off to the different departments, best practices for the developers, best practices for the content team, and so on and so on. Again, so yeah, that would be something I might add to it, just because, hey, what the hell, why not? It takes a moment to do it. But again, it's not something I'm going, grandfathering backwards to. I'm like, no, that's not happening. So yeah, again, if I'm talking to like the bloggers on a corporate team and the content creators, and there's going to be images in there, for sure, Frank. I want to support, those concepts of that piece with that kind of stuff. But it's not something I'm going back to do.
I've never seen a report done on the placement of images in articles as they rank. You know what I mean? How many of the top 10 have images in their articles? In their pages versus ones that don't.
Well, there's a way to make images rank, like to get the first image in a brand search in the knowledge graph. There's a way to stick whatever image you want in that first spot, no matter what.
Yeah,
then there's also up to 6 images that you have to manipulate at some point as well, because let's say your CEO has a reputation management issue. You don't want their mugshot showing up in the first 6 images for their brand.
Correct.
Which I've had to fix. So just not speaking out of my butt, but factually, there's the way to manipulate those images across that. There's 6 of them usually there, and there's a whole way to do it. What you want stuck there for the brand, how to do it in terms of image, alt tags, also sitemap. You can put an image in the sitemap as a logo. That really, really makes it huge, especially if the domain actually is very authoritative for the brand as the entity. Make sense?
Yeah. The question was actually more about whether the question was more about whether having an image would help the page, just like having a title might help the page. You know, what percentage of the top ranked pages have images and what kind of images?
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was wondering, because I haven't seen anything about that.
Okay, are you measuring conversions after that page?
No, I just mean
You know what I'm saying?
you would
Ranking,
without
Steve.
keywords.
Yeah, that becomes a correlation. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because you have to get conversion. Well, no, it's not. No, hang on a second. Slow down, Amon. Okay, so
no, but
understand
it becomes a
conversion.
correlation thing, and this is definitely not SEO Moz. So
Yeah. Okay.
Conversion on a web page will impact the ranking. Make sense, Amon?
anyways, yeah, but all Frank's saying is there a correlation between ranking pages in informational query spaces and the images on them therein. And I suppose you could take that e-com as well, Frank, but I was assuming you meant more informational queries.
Interesting to know.
Thanks.
Okay,
There's certainly
We lost.
Hang on.
the problem is with testing that you've then also got to look at the quality of metadata around the image.
Too many factors
Particularly
to really know, man.
alt titles, things like that are certainly going to play. I would suggest that a well marked up image is certainly going to help the page, but you know, it's a small factor, very small. The wording of one sentence may be more important.
Yeah.
Well, okay.
And again, you got to look query classification specific too. Google is quite famous for different areas having different signals applied with different weights, right? So, you know, one space that might be something that has a slightly more value than another space. And I think that's a problem SEOs get into a lot is with barefaced sort of assumptions as opposed to query specific or market specific or even demographic specific kind of nuances that would come in a threshold, right?
Well, plus the other one, we did another test where instead of a video, we put a screen cap image of the video that when clicked on opened up a new window on a YouTube channel to view the actual video. And the fact that we have a picture on a page as opposed to putting a just link in the text to a YouTube video, the one that had the picture worked better, but that was because of that could have been, I don't know, 20 other factors, but is that, you know what I'm talking about, Frank? Like where you put a picture in place of a video screen cap? That has shown that ranks as well as clicking through. The conversion rate will go higher because they think it's a video.
Yeah, I just did a search for do images impact search ranking, and the second one is Matt Cut saying stock images do not impact.
Stock images definitely no, because people were asking, you know, whether they should. If you're not using original images, shouldn't that detract from the page? And certainly Google's got a lot better at, you know, those searches of searching for this image. That's phenomenal stuff at the moment, and Google's image searches are fantastic. So you wonder what they're doing with that, why they were going to do that anyway. Why does Google want to know that this image is similar to these 500 others?
Well, because
Well,
now
they
you can
got-
do
you
that.
know.
Search. You can, you know, right-click an image and search for that image in Google, and it'll show you similar images.
Well, there's lots of neat stuff you can do. My wife planted our garden last year, and by the time stuff had grown back up, we'd had a storm, and some of the little tags had blown off. So she had no idea what this thing growing there was. She took a picture of it, asked Google, and Google figured out what that was and told her what plant it was. You know, so there is other reasons, query-wise, that they even look at images beyond just, you know.
Yeah, so actually this answer is pretty good. It goes, where is it? There's no positive or negative impact on your organic web ranking if you use image stock versus original, and it's more about it just having the image isn't a ranking factor for your content. So as of 2013, images on a page doesn't have any impact.
Yeah, but of course we can't believe Googlers, remember?
I would expect that some images are going to help and some images aren't. I would love to see how this changes, because one of the big trends in the last few years, we all know, is you open a page and there's this massive full screen bloody image that you've got to scroll past. I didn't want an image. If I'd wanted an image, I'd have done a fucking image search. I want the article.
Yeah,
And
Terry,
I'm having to
Terry and I call them bags. It's a big ass graphic.
Yeah. Now,
Yeah.
I would expect that to start to downgrade the same way that when people started using ads to push the content down the page, that became a negative ranking factor.
Pre-panda days, baby.
Yeah, I mean, the number of those, one, it doesn't work well with responsive design a lot of the times because the images just push everything off the, to the bottom. So, as a factor there, it's not going to be user-friendly.
You talking XF data there, Steve?
Yeah. I mean, you could that's because it's the same way that the PDF would work, and you can go in and open up the properties of an image and actually put the words in there you want, and it totally helps. But if you actually wanted to test for that, Eamon, this is why I'm saying this. You actually wanted to test for this, you'll get an image and encode it the right way, then put it on the page based on a keyword on a page that it doesn't rank for, and then watch it improve it. Send it to yourself with an email with a text. It'll work.
No, the way to test what we're saying, Steve, is have a page that doesn't have an image at the moment and put 2 images on it and see if it goes up in ranking. Then take the images off and see if it goes down in ranking. Anything else isn't testing the thing we're asking about. Do images themselves help the page? Not the metadata associated with the images, which we know does. Does just having images help, because we know a lot of people respond to images.
Well,
have Google recognized that?
You and I have had this discussion about the OCR stuff a lot the last 3-4 weeks, Eamon, and I think we came to a bit of a conclusion that I wouldn't think so in most situations, because again, like we talked about with the old OCR and thing, the desire to actually start spending cycles processing that image. Are you really going to get a search quality gain from that or not? And I think you and I kind of agreed probably not in most situations. So
exactly, because then you start getting into the situation where a page suddenly goes up in ranking because somebody used the comment box on the blog to put a smiley face in. How's that help with it?
Yeah. Aaron's Kristen's sitting there going, I hope it does. I don't know. I put lots of smiley faces everywhere. Somebody want to pay me? I'm great with emojis. Come on, someone. Okay. Sorry.
Fun. It's mostly hearts.
Aww. No wonder you and Aaron are so. You and Aaron are so close. You're so alike. I said it.
We're sisters.
Oh, I was in a private video call with Aaron and Kristen last. There was just way too much happy and lovey in there. It was like
Yeah, you're not used to that.
Oh no, I've known Aaron for 6-7 years, and I'm used to her. And then I just met Kristen the last couple of years, but both of them in a room together. Oh my goodness. Yeah.
Which Aaron are we talking about?
I was scrambling.
Aaron McKay.
Ah, okay.
Oh, Aaron McKay. Sorry. Yeah. Yeah.
Barbie girl.
I'm not sure if we were on the air or off the air there, Eamon, but at one point today we were talking about editorial integrity, I guess is the best way to put it.
Yeah. This is something, a while back, Tony Dimmock picked on several articles that were pretty bad at the time, and one of them that was on RankBrain was on SEMrush. And SEMrush responded and suggested that we maybe do a webinar on what publishers should be doing, what kind of responsibility should publishers be taking, and writers and editors. So that is coming up.
And funny enough, I was just looking through the show notes and I came across this thing, and it made me very sad because apparently we haven't done much for the last 20 years. Look at this. Okay, ready? Look at it. On-page optimization goes to here. Okay, devices gets about a paragraph and a half. Local got a paragraph and a sentence. Social, paragraph and a half. Links. Oh, look at that. They got like 3.5 paragraphs for links. Technical SEO, merely a sentence or two. And then final thoughts. I was like, are you kidding? So this is SEL's version of the evolution of. Okay. Wow, dude. I don't even know what to say. I was just
David Amerland managed a whole book on just semantics.
Oh, God. But, you know, is that what we've come to?
Semantics, it's all right. Not latent semantics, actual semantics.
I'm not, no, see, no. You already got me with the rank brain earlier, man. I'm not, you're not trolling me again today, boy. Oh, but, there's the entire evolution of SEO in 800 words or less.
It's
You know,
important.
somebody
If you're
wasn't
stuck
there.
on an elevator, you need to be able to explain that.
No, you don't, because there's no explaining it on a goddamn elevator. People ask me around here what I do for a living. I say I work on the internet. That is it. It's really, you know, I go any deeper than that, and they just start going.
Eyes start glazing over and whatnot.
Yeah, they just look at you stupid, man. They just forget it. But no, again, it's where is this content? You know, where is the future of this industry? Some of the content that's going out, talking about SEMrush is I think is important. You know, I dabbled in publishing. I just don't have the time doing everything else I'm doing, and I think, you know, Jen is doing a great job out there, and, you know, a handful of bloggers. But beyond that, you know, do I really go to Search Engine Land or watch or journal for my information? Hell no. You know.
I go there to laugh.
The problem is, a couple of years ago, they all started pushing towards volume. We started to hear, for the first time, publishing schedules. And you must have a marketing plan for your publishing and how often it's got to go out. And the thing is, it was all based on this idea that fresh content is better content, that, you know, fresh ranks. Yeah, there's this thing called the freshness boost. Freshness is there for sites that haven't earned any ranking yet. And yeah, if you pump out enough, you can kind of always have something up in the fresh stuff. But that's not because you're doing good SEO. It's because you've given up on doing good SEO and you're just using, you know, the idiot factor that anybody can publish the next article and get the freshness boost. They're even fresher than you. It's got no element of quality in there yet.
Yeah, and they write off of each of the authors sharing it through their social that brings in a certain volume of page views. And they're, you know, most of them are selling CPMs.
Yeah, I see Doc coming in and out there.
Yeah, it's still doing it.
Yeah, whoever put Doc's braces on the doorknob, it was funny, but stop it now.
Oh, man. But yeah, you know, when I remember a couple of years ago, Search Engine Watch tried to put me on some sort of schedule, and I was like, good luck with that.
Sorry.
I wish.
Yeah, you're lucky if you can get an article out of me in a month, never mind one a week.
Well, so what I've heard consistently from you guys is that you publish when you have something to publish.
Yeah.
You don't just do it for publishing's sake. You do it when you have something of value.
Well, Terry also has this theory of you can tell who's running out of work. Meaning, you start seeing people that you haven't seen in 6 months, and they're writing everywhere. Terry always goes, looks like Bruce Clay's run out of business. He's writing again, or he's doing this again, or doing that again. So there is that element. But, yeah, you know, I hadn't written anything in about 6 to 8 months because, you know, I've been doing it for 10 years, and I just had enough, you know, and I was consistently putting stuff out. You know, it was only this stupid rank brain crap. I don't have to add to the shared. It was only that even got me starting to write again, and it's not. It's again, it's, you know, off air I was thanking Bill and Ammon the other day for keeping the torch burning, because you start to think, who is leading the next generation of SEOs? Who are they listening to? Who are they following? Who do they respect? You know, and then you start to look around that landscape, and it's like, oh, okay, all right, I better get out there. You know, it's like, you know, I'm like a hockey player coming out of retirement because my favorite team sucks. It's like, all right, strap on the equipment. I'm going back out. You know, it's like that's the only reason I'm back out.
I don't really try and lead the industry at all. People are going to follow who they're going to follow, but every now and again they go so far off the beaten track that I just turn up to herd them back on the path. You know.
Yeah,
just,
well,
hey, there's a
and
cliff
again,
that way. Don't go over it.
Come here, my little lemmings. Come this way.
There's this number-led approach to SEO that's always been around. You know, we know it's always been around, and they don't worry about the number of bounces. They don't worry about what the conversion rate is. It's just the amount of traffic that counts. Unfortunately, this has got into publishing. It's about how often they're getting people landing on articles instead of what are people taking away. Because for me, I read 3 bad articles from a publisher. I don't trust that publisher anymore. And it can be 3 months between those 3 bad articles, or it can be 3 years. The fact is, the third time I start going, yeah, I can't afford for a place to get this wrong. This is business. This is the kind of stuff people invest thousands of budget in site builds towards fixing. And that's nothing. You know, the blue chip companies will easily spend upwards of 50,000 on a change of strategy on their website.
And inversely, small businesses could be wasting resources and time doing things they probably shouldn't be, which are very limited for them. So, you know, works on both ends.
My career is one of these things. Look, there's times I go quiet for a couple of years. I go and work for a client where they don't really want me doing much in social media. They want things under the radar. That's fine. I go quiet. People don't necessarily forget me. They don't forget the quality of stuff. The most important thing you can do is that every time you do publish, it's worth reading. And people remember that, even if they haven't read anything by you in 6 years.
Yeah, and I mean,
That's the older.
there's a difference, though. There's a difference between writing stuff where you're trying to sort of educate the people that are reading, and then writing content. For example, a few years ago, I did 50 articles on Halloween parades for Mr. Costume. And that was content that you can write that has a reach. So, I mean, there are various industries where you can write content that'll have value. You know, how the quality of the value is something, but you know, for example, Carfax is looking for someone. I spoke with them and said, like, you know, you really should write definitive articles about each make, model, and problems. You've got all these Carfaxes. You can pull data from that, and you can create like a generic pages of these are the biggest problems that each of these models have, so that because they're very handy at the bottom of the cycle, you know, the sales cycle, to use your brand. But why not get your brand recognized? Because the average person does about 25 searches before they make a decision of where they're going to go to buy a car. You know, so it depends on the industry to a degree about that writing, and it also depends on what the content's about. But on a teaching level, yeah, I agree. If you're trying to say something that, you know, whether you're weighing in with some authority or whether you're, you know, doing it for here's some basic knowledge that you should have, if that quality isn't good, I'm not reading you. You know, it's like that kid, Jason Demers or whatever, that writes for all these different publications. I mean, my God, it's just trite crap.
Some of his stuff is good, but yeah, there's just so much of it. And again, I mean, some of these publishers that they've got ghostwriters doing their writing for them. People like Neil Patel. I couldn't do that. You know, if you're going to put your name to something, you need to be absolutely ready to stand by it.
Well,
This
Neil
is your
Patel was
reputation.
smart. He gave Sarah Underwood a bunch of money, and he got a bunch of followers off hot chicks in bikinis or nearly naked on Instagram.
Well, I don't think there's anything wrong on spending some money and getting a lot of hot chicks in bikinis.
Right.
Call me old
Oh,
fashioned.
logical leaps we made.
He got a bunch of followers out of it.
That was always the point of the casino conferences.
Hey, hot chicks follow me, don't they, Kristen?
Yeah, I don't have that problem. All the girls have just followed me for that great advice.
I have millions of them friending me on Facebook. But they're all from third world countries, and after they friend me, they want to chat and then start asking me for money.
And they're actually dudes from China.
Exactly.
Just saying, it is what it is. That's why no Facebook. Facebook sucks.
I don't know, Zach.
There's
That
this thing.
looks decidedly non-alcoholic. The hell, man.
My last bit of this, it doesn't matter what philosophy you follow, what religious teachings or anything like that. You know, the world is full of quotes that basically come down to this same thing. Whoever talks the most knows the least. It's that one who rarely speaks, but every time they do, a gem comes out. The room stops to listen. That's who you want to be in the SEO industry, not
Well, what
the
was the one I
publication
posted?
that's got
I posted-
something every day.
We were doing our hangout yesterday on Rank Brain, and before that, I posted, I think it was Plato, quote, that a wise man speaks when he has something to say. A fool speaks just to say something or something. Hold on, yeah. It was something along those lines, and it kind of really stuck out for me yesterday.
Now,
I
there's
guess
too
one
many
more
people
thing.
out there that are talking just to be talking.
Coffee,
Well,
you hear me?
And this is it. You can't get much more old and established wisdom than Plato. You know, this isn't new, and yet somehow there's a lot of people.
Here it is, there. But it's wise men talk because they have something to say. Fools because they have to say something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
that's kind of how it felt lately with some of the shit out there.
But
The
the
minute
sad
you've got
thing
a
is
schedule.
nowadays, you've got places like BuzzFeed and the rest of them that, show that foolish crap gets them money.
Well, yeah, again, there's no lack of lemmings. To me, it's just at this point that I care about the industry and whose hands it's in. And no names mentioned, but there's plenty of idiots out there lately. So.
Yeah. And I always remember my father's quote: "It's better to remain silent and be thought a fool than to open your mouth and remove all doubt."
That's it.
I remember that one.
And there's a lot of articles out there that really they needed my dad's advice.
I interestingly came across this, and the only reason it kind of got me interested was because I've long said that wherever there's a search box and a button to hit enter or search or whatever, and if it's somewhere my clients should be, then I care about how that search engine works. And that is to say that I started a forum thread the other day that life beyond Google. And when I came across this, someone had actually took the time to figure out, to a good degree, how results were being returned on Amazon. And my point's not just Amazon, though. It could be YouTube, it could be Pinterest, it could be wherever there's a market that you can get revenues or increase visibility for a client. So many people are just Google optimizers, not search engine optimizers, because they really sort of start and stop at Google.
Yeah. And we've had this conversation in the past, Dave, where, a real SEO, anywhere there is a search box, is an opportunity.
Damn
Well,
right.
but-
If it's somewhere my client needs or wants to be that can make some money from or get visibility from, that search box is what I do for a living. It's not just what comes back in Google. So.
Well, exactly. And I've
you
said
know, to
before,
be
my
fair-
kids, YouTube is their go-to search engine. They'll go to YouTube first.
To be fair, though, if you are optimizing well for Google, then for the most part you're optimizing well for just about anybody.
Yeah, but Amazon, you've got your own listings again, or eBay or somewhere like that. So you're now off the site. Okay, so now you're optimizing for a different channel in a different way. So how do you surface your clients in that environment is what I'm talking about. It's not really these sites, these places aren't crawling your site. YouTube's not crawling my site. So optimizing for Google and optimizing a YouTube channel are two different animals.
Okay.
And I've learned a lot the last 2 years about how to optimize it for YouTube, and they have a whole different bunch of criteria and things that go on there than I would do for Google. So.
No, I agree.
Even for example, AutoTrader. AutoTrader, they default their listings by price. So you want to be able to have a high price on a particular vehicle, but then make sure that it has all the bells and whistles so people may look at that and then see which other ones you've got available. But yeah, there's a game. Like you said, you've got to be aware of what the criteria is for how the results come back from different things that you can search in. And they're all optimizing for Google doesn't necessarily optimize the same way for different types of those engines.
Are you working for AutoTrader?
I
Yeah.
wasn't.
Why? What do you need?
Well, no. I just have NDAs in place. I may or may not have worked for them in the past. Let's say that. Maybe we should talk.
Yeah, I actually did the due diligence for them when they bought Haystack, their PPC company. A nice gig.
Lull in the
Alright.
conversation. What is dwell times?
Dwell time is how long someone stays on a page.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Not inclusive of scrolling or anything else. So essentially, if you know, and one of the reasons they're kind of what a search engineer would call a dirty signal, or noisy, sorry, is it because how many of us have had tabs sitting open for 2 days? You know what I mean? So that kind of number is going to be a bit of a problem. They might throw out the high and the low, but dwell times as a standalone metric aren't really all that useful search engine, I don't believe.
Exactly. One of the things that I tend to put in to analytics, and again we're back on analytics, is a little bit of custom JavaScript so that you can detect when a tab is active and only count. You set a timer on that, and every 30 seconds it pings your script so that a new cookie is set, and basically you can count how long they're on a page with it as the active tab. That kind of engagement tracking is useful, and again that's the kind of thing Google doesn't do out of the box. It doesn't do without a lot of hacking, and that's why I like to say you've got to come up with your own analytics.
Because Chrome has the default, if you close your computer and you've got 10 or 15 tabs open, they relaunch those when you open it again. So I mean, it's like they're aware of it. They've got all So why aren't they making that a factor of downplay, or at least filtering it?
Mm-hmm.
I don't see that in the analytics.
It is one of those things. I think analytics, you've always got to, bake your own. You've got to start with what you want to know and then find the analytics for it. It's what I put in my presentation, Kill Google Analytics, years ago. Start with what you want to know and then find the platform, instead of what so many do is start with the preset notion they're going to use Google Analytics and then try and make it do what's going to be useful.
How many custom reports are people using for Google Analytics?
Oh my
Customs?
God.
My
Yeah.
whole life. My whole
Oh my
life.
God. Yeah, that's like a
Yeah, the only thing I use standard reports are if I'm just going in for a glance, and even sometimes not then. No, most of my stuff is customized. Yeah.
Yeah, I've got a little
'Cause
library.
there's data points I want to know, and so.
Even your dashboard you've got to customize. But
Yeah, I don't really use it out of the box much, but I like how it's grown over the years, like the different things you can pull now and do. I like it, So, but yeah, I don't use a lot of out of the box stuff with Google Analytics. And there's a lot of stuff you can apply. I mean, some things work across the board for e-commerce clients, and some work for informational kinds, and there are a lot of reports. But in many situations, Frank, it all depends on the program and what I'm doing, what my goals are, data I need to know. I'm almost creating custom reports a lot for each client, what I mean, based upon that situation.
Yeah, it's interesting because, I mean, Zach here in the chat mentioned that, he's got a client that's using Core Metrics. That's the one thing. I've used so many different analytics programs, and to me, Google's pretty good. I personally think Adobe's are a little better, but then I've been working with a lot of the stuff that they bought and brought into the product.
Yeah, but also to a degree, this goes back to when people used to ask us what tools do we recommend. A lot of times it's what you're comfortable with too. I mean, like me trying to, like some of the analytics programs our clients have run over the years with me and Terry. I don't remember the name of that one, Terry, with the green interface. It was just like pulling teeth trying to get data out of it. Remember that? I think it was AutoTrader, actually, to be honest with you. But
that was Adobe.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like
Oh God,
we were
Omniture.
pulling Omniture. That's what it was. Yeah,
Oh,
it was
Omniture,
Omniture. We were
yeah.
pulling teeth trying to. Yeah, it was Omniture, bro. And yeah, we were pulling teeth trying to get shit out of that, man. It was like. So sometimes it depends on the tool you're using and how comfortable you are with it. When
Well,
you're
but
not comfortable with a data set.
Omniture was one of the things when we went into keywords not found. Omniture was one of the ones you could actually get that crap from. Until you figured out a new way at the beginning of the year to represent your material because Google no longer had the same measurement for what you've been using for the last couple of years with your clients. But that's Omniture was the way you could get keywords out of for not found.
Yeah, part of the whole change over to HTTPS was always to me so you couldn't do a comparison of analytics on your paid buys with AdWords and say, okay, wait a second, here's a chunk of bullshit that we want a refund for. You lost a lot of that ability.
You get the refillers in.
Sorry, I mean, you were saying you wanted to event. When is that again?
I love how Larry Kim's marketing has gotten him mentioned in so many hangouts.
I know, we gotta stop doing this.
I mean, you got to respect the guy for his effective marketing. He's getting the visibility, even if it's shit visibility.
Yeah. Yeah,
Has
because
anyone
all new.
Like, have you looked
at
at
bad press.
metrics? Like, have they gone up? Have they gone down? Like, how has it affected him? Like, for reals?
You know, at the end of the day, I'm sure you made money from that article, so.
He's never been mentioned.
We can say all we want. Yeah.
No one is like.
You know, if he's counting mentions, then his metrics are way up. If he's counting sentiment.
Oh my gosh, that was the funniest thing yesterday. Like, who was it that said that? Like, was it you, Ammon? Like, looking at the. I think it was you. Like, if they would look at the sentiment analysis and.
Oh, with the IMDb, with the International Movie Database. Was that what you're talking about in the show yesterday?
Yeah.
Yeah, and that badass car, you could have been looking for a bad porno maybe if you got the sentiment wrong.
And then,
I would
good
certainly
badass.
describe him as badass.
But someone said, like, Larry Kim, I think it had been you, Ammon, like, someone said, like, that if you're, like, looking at Larry Kim's thing and, like, you're laughing because it's so terrible, like...
Oh, yeah, if they were using sentiment analysis on... It was the talk about mobile, and that maybe there's a paper that suggested that you could use the camera in mobile phones to analyse people's faces to see whether they were enjoying the results they'd got or not. And I said that they'd see everyone laughing when they read Larry Kim's stuff and think that it must be very good.
Okay, hold on. What was the Groucho Marx one I shared a couple of weeks ago with Terry? I think I'm going to paraphrase. From the time I picked up your book until the time I put it down, I convulsed with laughter. Someday I intend to read it.
What? Flatulence? Is that what you said?
No.
Convulsed with flatulence?
Laughter.
Is that what you said? Oh.
I know another version of that. It's from the time I engaged with your article until I finished with it, I was rapt. It was the most intense 1 second of my life.
Okay. Oh, my Lord. I don't like the sound of that, Steve. You want to bring your camera off?
I like the flatulence line better.
Because you made it up, yeah. All right. Oh, boy.
I sense a Paisley tweet coming here.
Oh,
What?
God.
What?
What? Where? Who?
What? When? How?
I sense a tweet coming from DJ Paisley.
Oh, you mean my bot?
Your flatulence?
My flatulence bot? Great,
All right.
flatulence. Okay, never mind.
Yeah, you know we're doing a great job when we're getting comments like, great show today. I've been listening on mobile, says William Rock. Loved your ideas around penguin poop. Yeah, we're cutting edge here, boys and girls.
Yes.
We're getting props like that. We know we're doing something right here. It's all about the penguin poop. Okay.
The grime
Wow. All right. Well, I'm gonna kill this portion for now, folks. Green room's open as always. Links in the event page. Anyone watching still or in the future, thank you as always for dropping in. We loved you, and more penguin poop to come. And flatulence and people touching their tools and wow, hell of a week. All right, we're out of here.
You can always